fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I'm Amanda Beach from Cosmic Beach Consulting, and this is your Cosmic Surf Report for the second week of August 2016. We open up this new week with a call for support. This might be you at work saying, hey, I need some more help with my projects. This could also be looking at your family and saying, look, I know Leo season, Leos especially, might have been a little hard on everybody, but here's how I need my team to support me. Asking for help is a big theme in the beginning of the week. I think that the caution with not asking for help is that you're going to become a little overloaded. We have some activity with Eris that's making things, people are a little bit more aggressive than they should be. And for our fire signs, this might come across even more. Like there might be things that are really beyond your control, but you've kind of spent a lot of time trying to think about how to control them, and letting go of some of that control and looking for some more support instead would really be the best way to start off your second week of August. This is also financially, especially for my Aries, a good week. This is definitely a time when you're going to start to see some benefits, some rewards. Maybe you did some side gigs in the summer. You might just start to see some paychecks from that. You might have taken advantage of some of that, direct Mars energy and gone out and been networking recently, dropping off your business card places. So you might starting to see some return on your social investment as well. The caution in this is to make sure that you are not only building one side of your kingdom. So if you're somebody who is working on business right now, that says that maybe you've really focused on social media. Maybe you've really been amazing at like expanding your subscribers and your network, but you haven't really been looking close to home. So this kind of talks to us about what we can do in our own backyard, or if we are, working diligently within our small community and small network, how can we get more expansive in other areas as well for our careers? So on the 10th, we do have Mercury entering the shadow of the retrograde. So I think that everybody needs to be pretty forgiving about development time for the next couple of weeks. So if you have some ideas that aren't necessarily fleshing out, write them down, keep them somewhere safe, and come back to them once Mercury goes retrograde on the 30th. Instead of kind of thinking like, oh, I have all of these ideas in the can, I have all these things I want to do, and, kind of beating yourself up about the lack of productivity, instead kind of honoring the fact that, every idea will have its time, and maybe this isn't necessarily the time that you need to have it, but certainly catalog and keep it so that you have it available for that retrograde energy when you are coming back to revisit some things. The middle of the week again talks about our anger levels. So if you're reaching like a boiling point with a relationship, this kind of asks me to say, what of your needs aren't being met? Why are you getting so upset? What do you feel that you're competing for? If it's a relationship that's romantic, maybe you're starting to feel like it's one-sided. Maybe you consider it, you're like, oh, I really feel like I'm the one that's holding up the my end of the deal, and that my partner, lover, best friend, intimate relationship, isn't giving me what I need back. This might not be a point where it's like a severance or a separation, although we do have a very interesting eclipse coming up for next week. We'll talk about that next week. So this might be foreshadowing some of that full moon energy too. So when it comes to like what kind of resources you feel like you're competing for with the people that are important to you and who you want to be important to, I think it's important to kind of really meditate on that and kind of think about, if some of this anger is coming from needs not being met, if some of this anger is coming from just, untapped frustration, maybe it's just anxiety in general, maybe it's just some frustration or stress when it comes to all of the, physical mountains you're kind of climbing right now, especially my Aries. And for Sagittarius, maybe this talks about, you might be getting to a point where you're like willing to relinquish some independence, which for Sagittarius is a huge deal. And this might actually kind of come out as, you're not ready to do that yet. In fact, you can't have people compete for your attention. It's kind of something that's making you uncomfortable. But there's a lot of progress in the second week for the fire signs. I think that if you're able to really be able to look at some situations from a higher vantage point, like just pretend that you are at a festival and you climb a hill so you can see like everything beneath you. Like this week is Outside Lands in San Francisco. So let's say that you're climbing up high. So not only can you see the main stage, you can see the vendors, you can see all the people, And you can really get a sense of your place in that, and which can actually be kind of relieving if you're getting a little swept up in Leo season and feeling a little bit too dramatic, a little too centered of self as opposed to self-centered. So some perspective would be a great idea. Rounding out the week, as we enter closer to Mercury retrograde, I think this retrograde for you is certainly going to be one that talks about productivity and expanding ideas and revisiting projects for fire signs especially, but it also is going to talk about bringing some people back. So if there are maybe some amends you'd like to make, if you want to take some of that anxiety and frustrated energy that you have in some of your current relationships and kind of like throw that at a relationship you've kind of been willing or thinking about mending, this would be a good week to kind of make a list of people you might want to get back in touch with, maybe contacts you've fallen out with, maybe just, you know, your best friend from high school that you don't always get to catch up with. And I would kind of focus some of that, you know, if you're going to put some emotional energy out there, I would put it into relationships that either kind of hold a place in your past or are things that you need to revisit. My name is Amanda Beach. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. You can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Cosmic Beach Consulting. You can go to my website, www.cosmicbeachconsulting.com, and schedule a one-on-one appointment with me. My Cosmic Surf reports are a combination of tarot, astrology, and my own intuition. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.